Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sudden Wealth. I do hope you're having a wonderful Saturday. If you do enjoy the content, please consider dropping that like and subscribe. We just crossed the 400 subscribers mark, so thank you very much for all the support. Now, there's been a lot of movement, a lot of talk around AMC, and I think it would be interesting to go back to the origin of the meme phenomenon. Now, look, in history, we had bubbles on everything: real estate, tulips, my God, even tulips, beanie babies, everything with the .com written over it. One condo in Manhattan in 2006 cost more money than three condos in 2002. This kind of craziness we've always had. But in 2020 and 2021, things approached kind of let's say, unprecedented level. And that's actually where our story starts. So you may ask, where did this meme mania came from? So we all know what happened in 2020, and then central banks print unprecedented amounts of money. Now they devalued the currency extremely. And what means that anything priced in that currency is easy to go up. Now, even in crypto, we've had meme stocks or meme coins in the past, but even those were kind of the minority. You would have a few of them, but the majority always at least claimed to serve a purpose rather than just being a simple meme. And then we've seen an explosion of meme coins. I think there are a few days where 30 or 40 come out. I think we've crossed the 50,000 cryptos out there, well, where the great majority are actually meme coins. And there's even tutorials on YouTube, if you believe this, on how to create a meme coin in under 20 seconds. So this is where we arrived later. But what happened is actually quite simple. Government, central banks print unlimited amounts of money, people getting stimulus checks at home. What happened was the volume of retail investors in the stock market quadrupled in about a year. Think about it, 4 times the previous years they just came in. So they did spend some of the stimulus money, but a lot of it came to the stock market. And you need to understand, these are, for the most part, unexperienced retail investors. They've never seen anything in terms of crisis, crashes, bubbles, the psychology of markets, any of that. And basically, because so much money was printed, anything they bought, or virtually anything they bought, went up. So this triggers a mindset in your mind, which is, I have a money printer on my pocket, which is the Robinhood app, Webull, you name it. I press a couple of buttons and poof, I make money just like that. That was the feeling that a lot of people had. Next step is, okay, how can I not just make money, become a millionaire or make hundreds of thousands of dollars in a very short period of time, right? Then you go up in the stairs of greed, you go up one stair. And that one is making money is no longer enough, is making a lot of money in a very short period of time. And what happened was, in the case of GameStop, the stock was really overshorted. Now you need to understand, because rates were so low that hedge funds are incentivized to find ways to drive extra yield. And many times that entails over leveraging themselves, particularly shorting bad companies. And GameStop was struggling at the time, AMC, BlackBerry, Bed Bath and Beyond, you name it. There were a few of them like this. And what the Reddit people, visionaries in this case, saw is that those guys are overshorting that stock. We are now many more people than we used to be. If we team up and buy that stock and we don't sell, they need to cover their shorts and rebuy the shares But investors set up the price as long as they don't sell. And here came the short squeeze GameStop that everyone is aware about. And of course, here comes Robinhood, removes the buy button for GameStop, and then a new game has started, which is let's find the next GameStop. Just like in crypto, when Dogecoin succeeded, let's find the next Dogecoin. Just like when Pepe succeeded this year, let's find the next Pepe. It's the same mentality. Okay? And the problem is, this created a huge phenomena of a much bigger interest on financial topics, investing, stocks, cryptos on YouTube than it previously existed. Why? Because now you have 4 times more people in the market. So now this topic that was always of some interest has now become 4 times more interesting. Problem is, people now have the incentive to sell you things, to basically make video after video on hot topics and collect that revenue. And some of them made money on GameStop, the initial play, but they quickly figured out that they were lucky. You see, because even in GameStop, the majority of people lost money. Now, GameStop was really a short squeeze, just like AMC. When AMC went from $2 to 73, that's a short squeeze. I mean, that's a brutal amount. That's a brutal appreciation. That's not a joke. But when you actually, in the case of GameStop, it was a short squeeze. But when you look at AMC, why did the stock run so much? Was not so much of a short squeeze. Of course, there was some short squeeze, but it was mostly because the volume of buyers on AMC exploded in like a couple of weeks. And if the float is not too big, if you explode the number of buyers, you explode the share price. But that is valid for any company. I mean, not the $1 trillion companies, because that you need billions and billions to move the stock. But in stocks with smaller floats, a couple of 50 million, 100 million, 150 million, you don't need billions of dollars. You need a couple of millions, and the stock starts running. So that was the next step. Now, I do believe in the case of GameStop, there was a huge foul play with removing the buy button and all sorts of other strange things. The problem is the YouTubers who made some money on GameStop, or the YouTubers who saw others making money on GameStop, they had to prepare in case the other plays would not pan out like GameStop did. So they had to come up with the conspiracy theories regardless of what happened. Like nobody alleged the same things for BlackBerry, for example, that they alleged for GameStop. But the point was, if these new short squeezes don't work out very well, we better have some good stories to keep people interested for a couple of years while we collect a lot of money. Maybe we sell some courses, maybe we sell some private groups for the upcoming MOSS, and maybe you join some Discords, God knows what. But the point was, learn from the past and make sure that you create content that keeps people coming in through the revolving door, good or bad. Prime up all those conspiracy theories and make sure people keep interested. And this was all driven initially by, of course, the overreaction of central banks to what was happening in the world at the time, with all this money printing, all these stimulus checks, all these new players in the market. They were all chasing the next GameStop. You see? So basically, they were making money on everything already. Second step is, okay, how can I make really huge amounts of money in a very short period of time? Some people went to crypto, some people went to Memestocks. And when the market is like that, in complete euphoria, like 2021, what performs the best? Crypto and Memestocks. Why? They are further out on the curve risk. Now, crypto, does that because it's a new industry. Memstock does that because they are pure high risk that shouldn't be nowhere close to those valuations. But then it becomes a game of chicken, right? Who sells? Who buys early and sells after a big run? They make a lot of money. The problem is the more the chart goes like this, along the way, the more people buy. So at the end, when the dump comes to the other side, like we've seen in all these stocks, then the majority of people, the great majority of people, lost huge amounts of money, while a small minority of people made a lot of money. And within that small minority, there's even half of them, let's say, no, it's not half, it's less than that, but some of them made a lot of money with creating passive income for the remaining of the investors. How? When they enticed you to buy it, the YouTubers, etc., they ensure that you become now attached financially and emotionally, most importantly, emotionally, to that stock. So now they can talk to you about it for months and years, and they collect passive income from you, not directly. I mean, in some cases with donations and courses is directly, but if they don't want to go that route, don't want to risk it, they will collect it indirectly from ad revenue. Now, 2022, everyone knows what happens. There's something happened in Europe, energy crisis, high inflation, central banks start tightening. Stimulus checks stop going out. The volume from the retail people starts going down. A lot of people is now losing a lot of money from this place, and their dry powder for keep buying has virtually disappeared. Now, what happens? The same way that these stocks run the most and crypto runs the most, when they crash, they also crash the most. Now, but you see, while crypto doesn't go bankrupt, companies can go bankrupt because they have overhead cost. They have a cost of running a business. And as interest rates go higher, the cost of borrowing for those companies increases dramatically, and the amount of money available for investors decreases also quite dramatically. Also, institutions who participate in the market and by far make the largest volume are also more careful with where they place the money because they know that not everything is going to go up now. So these things start to collapse. The big air that pushed them up is now starting to push them down. And you still see some runs here and there, like AMC went from like 15, 16 to 34, then collapsed, then went from I think $8, $9 to 16, 17, then collapsed. Now it went from $3 to $8 and now collapsed, and so on and so forth. And people continue to get destroyed, but some of these plays are getting small enough in terms of float where a couple of million will push them higher easily. And the idea is when people see 100% run up, they will feel enticed to buy once again. So that's why I'm saying expect new videos, new promises, new theories about why this stock's going to run, that stock's going to run, the other stock's going to run. Now, here's the worst part. I think the central banks are getting to a point where rate hiking is finished. And from here, as certain parts of the economy start to derail, the next step will be rate cutting and stimulus once again, which means most likely many of these, maybe not these stocks that ran up the last time, but new similar stocks will pop up. And they will probably do extremely well, and they will probably run up hundreds of percent. What is the problem? You're playing the game of chicken. You are betting you're going to fall within the initial section of people that actually make all the money. And not the ones that catch the train around here and then end up losing everything. So you're playing a game of chicken. Most cases, most people will lose again. Now, should you do it? Shouldn't you do it? Up to you. You take your own risks. You do whatever you want with your money and with your life savings. I'm not trying to give you any kind of advice or financial advice. I'm trying to describe to you why this phenomena occurred, where did it came from, and why it's going to repeat. You see, when the time comes, everyone will be talking about it and everyone will have seen it. The key is to talk about it before it happens, because afterwards you're not predicting, you're just reporting history. That's all you're doing. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because a lot of new people will come. Some people may have forgotten what happened in the past, or may people, and this is the dangerous part, they want to get revenge from losing money on other place. So the reason why I'm saying this is because I can already start seeing the little crumbs that will lead into this in the future. And hopefully, by you understanding the origin of where we are here today and where all of this came from in the first place, maybe you will be more careful in the future in assessing where if a stock or if anything has merit, or if it's just part of this little game of chicken. Now, you do whatever you want. I don't care. I'm just saying, I'm just giving you the idea and the origins of this phenomena or this movement. So in the future, you're aware of if it's something repeating or if it's actually something new. So thank you very much, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.